Okay, picture this. October 22nd, 2025. The news breaks. Grimes, musician, futurist. She gets her first face tattoo.
Right. And the headlines immediately go wild.
Totally. Massive, dramatic. Everyone's expecting this huge, visible statement.
But here's the twist, the really bizarre part.
It was tiny.
Barely there. Like she said, her own parents didn't even notice it for ages.
It's this incredible disconnect, isn't it? This media frenzy over something, well, something you practically needed a magnifying glass to see.
Exactly. She even joked like, literally no one noticed, even though she'd had it for months.
Yeah.
It was the ultimate media paradox.
Welcome to Starscope Report.
We're the place you come to get the real story behind the headlines shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
We dive into the drama, the controversies, the big moments.
And today, our mission is figuring out how this almost invisible red line, this tiny tattoo, sparked such a huge cultural conversation.
Yeah, we need to unpack how this silent revolt managed to completely break what you could call the celebrity algorithm of outrage.
And we'll connect it to this really niche, fascinating art style called cybersigilism.
Plus, there's this whole controversial angle why some people started calling it an example of scar privilege.
So stick around. This goes way deeper than just ink on skin. It taps into, well, the future of identity itself. #TagI. The paradox of the invisible statement.
So normally, a celebrity face tattoo, you think immediate shock, right? Like Post Malone, maybe Bieber.
Yeah, it's designed for that instant, visceral reaction. It fled social media.
But Grimes, this was different. She apparently wore it for months. It was even in her music video for Artificial Angels before the official reveal.
Which points to a very different strategy. Why choose invisibility? Why hide it in plain sight?
It feels almost like anti-spectacle.
That's a great way to put it. It completely sidestepped the usual script. The loud, look at me, look what I did approach.
Instead, the reaction wasn't shock, it was confusion.
Exactly. The media outlets using words like massive just looked ridiculous when people finally saw how subtle it was. The narrative collapsed.
So the subtlety itself, that was the weapon, not the ink.
I think so, yeah. It forced a pivot. Instead of just reacting to an image, people had to ask, wait, what did she actually do? And why can't I really see it?
Which turns it from just like a cosmetic choice into something more intellectual.
Precisely. You couldn't just glance and judge. You actually had to lean in, try to understand.
You had to learn about red ink, how it fades or looks on skin.
About the artist, about this whole cybersigilism idea. It demanded engagement.
It's kind of genius in a way in our world of constant noise and images.
The quietest statement made the biggest intellectual splash. It filtered out the noise.
It forced a real conversation, not just clicks. A silent revolt, like you said.
Yeah, against the whole celebrity spectacle machine.
Okay, let's zoom in on the actual mark. It is subtle, but it's very specific. Describe it for us.
It's incredibly restrained. Just a single, fine red line. Very delicate.
And it goes around her left eye.
Yeah, it encircles the eye. Like a soft, almost ghostly orbital ring. It's maximum visibility real estate, the face, but with the absolute minimum possible marking.
And the artist is key here, right? Glyphomancer.
Yes, at Glyphomancer. And Grimes didn't just say they were skilled. She called their approach truly novel and innovative. She stressed it wasn't a conventional tattoo process.
Which leads us to cybersigilism.
Exactly. This isn't your typical tattoo style.
So what is it? Cyber.sigil sounds like tech meets magic.
That's pretty much it. It's a philosophical movement as much as an aesthetic. It fuses cyber, the digital world, with sigil, which is an ancient term for a symbol charged with intent or meaning.
Okay, interesting. So what does it look like?
Visually, think thin, sharp lines, flowing patterns. It often looks like mystical circuits or maybe alien veins. Something organic, but also technical.
Some people called it Gen Z tribal or new tribal.
Right, because it has that feel of reclaiming a powerful, symbolic aesthetic, like tribal tattoos did.
But that brings up the issue of appropriation, which was a big problem with 90s tribal, wasn't it?
A very valid criticism, yeah. But cybersigilism tries to navigate that differently.
How?
By rooting its meaning, not in specific borrowed cultural symbols, but in a shared modern experience. Life online. Our relationship with technology, with AI.
Ah, okay. So it's creating symbols for this era, for the digital native generation.
Precisely. It aims for that powerful, symbolic feel without stepping on existing cultural toes. The tribe is global, digital, #Tag3, the decade-long plan and thematic evolution.
What really struck me was her comment about taking like 10 years emotionally working up to getting a face tattoo.
Yeah, that changes everything, doesn't it?
It completely reframes it. This wasn't a whim. It wasn't a publicity stunt.
No, it positions it as this deeply personal milestone, a
Yeah.
culmination.
And we even have proof it wasn't sudden. Didn't she poll her fans about a white ink face tattoo back in 2022?
She did, which shows she was thinking about this specific placement, this idea, for years, refining it.
And that link to white ink is fascinating because she already has those huge white ink pieces on her back and chest.
They're alien scars.
Exactly. Which look like, well, scars. Ethereal, otherworldly.
Right. The white ink aesthetic was very much about that alien, almost external fantasy identity,
Yeah.
scarification-like.
But this new one is red ink.
And that shift is so symbolic. Red is visceral. It's blood, it's life, it's internal,
Yeah.
and it suggests circuitry within.
So moving from alien to cyborg.
Right.
From something external to something integrated.
That seems to be the clear thematic pivot, yes. It's less about looking like something else from far away and more about becoming something new right here, fused with tech.
And by sharing that 10-year journey, that thought process.
She basically preempts anyone dismissing it as just a quick grab for attention. It forces you to see it as part of a long-term artistic project, an evolution. #tag
Yeah.
the post-human canvas and the artificial angels link.
So this cyber sigil, it fits into her larger artistic project, right? Her goal of having a full alien body.
She talks about her body as this canvas, almost like
IRL character customization. I've heard that phrase.
exactly that. Taking the idea from video games where you design your avatar and applying it to your physical self. Like the body is editable.
And we've seen hints of this before, the white ink. Her interest in elf ears, vampire teeth.
Right, and that big red leg tattoo that looked like veins, where she literally said she changed my body from the way God made it. It's about reshaping the self.
Some analysts see this kind of techno-futurist body modification as like a coping mechanism.
How so?
Well, in a world that feels increasingly chaotic, maybe focusing on modifying the one thing you can control your body is a way to reclaim agency. Deal with the collective doom, you know?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Controlling the personal canvas when the world feels out of control.
And the timing with her music was clearly deliberate.
Oh, absolutely. The tattoo appearing in the Artificial Angels video before the announcement, that wasn't an accident.
A soft launch.
Definitely. The tattoo becomes the living symbol of what the song is exploring.
But the song itself is kind of dark, isn't it? A foreboding tale from an AI's perspective. It has that line, power isn't given, it is taken.
And that's the fascinating tension.
Now what do you mean?
The song expresses that deep, collective anxiety about AI, about technology taking over.
Yeah.
But the tattoo, the cyber sigil, represents embracing and integrating with that very same technology.
Ah, so she's embodying the conflict.
Exactly. She becomes this sort of oracle for the digital age, physically manifesting the push and pull between fear of AI and the inevitability of human-tech fusion. It's all there, on her face and in her music, #V, the scar privilege debate.
Okay, so she presents this complex, personal, subtle thing, and the public reaction was, well, not subtle.
Not at all. It completely divided people. Even though the mark itself was so minimal, it became a real Rorschach test.
What were the main lines of division?
Well, beyond the artistic interpretations, the sharpest criticism, the one that really gained traction, was this idea of scar privilege.
Scar privilege. Okay, unpack that. What's the argument?
The argument came mainly from people who have visible scars from actual trauma accidents, violence, surgery, serious illnesses.
Okay.
They looked at this delicate red line, which aesthetically does resemble a faded or healing scar, and saw it as, well, as taking the look of suffering without the substance.
The peak privilege of being able to wear the visual signifier of pain.
Without having lived through the horror that caused real scars. They felt it turned trauma into a fashion statement, an aesthetic choice detached from its origin.
So while calling it a cyber sigil didn't matter to them, they saw it as appropriating the look of a scar.
For those critics, yes. They argued that adopting that visual language, regardless of the artist's intent, was insensitive and trivialized genuine pain and survival.
Wow. That raises a really tough ethical question, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Huh.
Are there limits to artistic borrowing? Does an artist's intention creating a symbol for a post-human identity override how that symbol is read by people with lived experience of something visually similar, like scarring?
And there's no easy answer to that.
None at all. It just showed how even the tiniest mark could ignite a really complex debate about authenticity, trauma, representation, and privilege. It became much bigger than just her face. #UKSex. Final takeaway: Renaissance on skin.
When you step back from the controversy, though, this whole episode really does seem to support Grimes's own point about tattoos right now.
That they're in a crazy Renaissance period.
Yeah, and that maybe it's sort of underappreciated.
I think she's absolutely right. We're seeing tattoos move so far beyond just, rebellion or decoration.
They're becoming a language.
A really nuanced language, a way to articulate these complex ideas about who we are now, living these hybrid lives, part physical, part digital. Cybersigilism feels like the first aesthetic truly born from that specific reality.
So this tiny red line, it's like installing the digital onto the physical self.
Yeah, it's a permanent declaration. Identity is fluid. It's editable. It's tied up with our tech.
And making it so subtle, so quiet. What's the final takeaway from that?
For me, the subtlety is the most powerful part. It suggests this fusion, this human-tech integration, isn't some loud sci-fi future anymore.
It's already here.
It's here now. It's quiet. It's becoming part of us. It's not an alien invasion. It's a circuit being woven into our biology, almost unnoticed.
Which leaves you thinking.
What circuits are you drawing, consciously or unconsciously, in your own life?
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.